An age-old question posed to noobs. High explosive or armor piercing? We'll answer that in this video. Hello, I am Xarkun, and this is World of Warships Legends. Today on Sea of Fortune, we find ourselves in the Prinz Eugen, Tier 7 premium German cruiser, available for 750,000 global XP in the store. I don't think I've featured this ship at all on my channel. Actually, that's a lie. I'm pretty sure I have, but in the form of a community replay before I even owned this mighty vessel. But I bought it a while ago. Can't remember how long ago. Haven't featured it myself with me at the helm, so today we've got that. And that age-old question, high explosive or armor piercing? A question that I'm not going to apply to this cruiser in this game. For reference, the armor piercing on the Prinz Eugen and the Tech Tree Tier 7 German cruiser Hipper. The armor piercing is by far the best choice. Both cruisers have a high explosive that enjoys the penetrative capabilities of the German quarter pen, meaning you take the caliber of the shells, divide by 4, you get the armor value that these 203mm guns can penetrate with high explosive, and the value is quite high because most other heavy cruisers in the game have to take their high explosive and divide by 6, not so with the Germans. Of course, the trade-off for that excellent penetration is mediocre alpha strike in the HE shells, and probably not that great of a fire chance. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it's the AP that's the bread and butter of this ship. Take note, though, of that enemy Yamato out there. I don't know if he's the one or not. He's wearing that fancy golden weak skin, but there is at least one Yamato in this game who considered the question, the age-old question, AP or HE, and came to the conclusion that HE is the way to go. Let me remind you very quickly that the Yamato has the biggest guns in the game, 460mm in size, or 18.1 inches, if metrics are difficult. And 18.1 inches is enough to overmatch 32mm of armor. There is no ship in Tier 7 yet added to the game that does not have a 32mm armor bow. Or, I should rephrase that, there is no ship that has yet been added to the game that has a greater armor value than 32mm on its bow, aside from the Grosse Kurfürst, which does have, I think, 50mm plating. The Yamato can't really overmatch that, but everything else, fair game. And therefore, there's no reason to shoot anything other than armor piercing almost always, almost exclusively in the Yamato, especially when you are fighting, say, a Richelieu who is bow on to you. And you might be thinking to yourself, what does this have to do with what you're seeing in front of you? Well, that question will be answered very, very soon. For now, the Charlie Cap has been secured by the friendly destroyer. You can see he's launching torpedoes at one of the enemy Yamatos who's charging in. I'm a little concerned for his safety, as it looks like he might start getting reckless, and there's no need for it. As long as these guys don't get on the cap, and I don't think they want to after the Shimakaze torpedoes came flying at them, then we'll hold this cap. We got bigger problems, though, on the other side of the map. Notice that the destroyer, the friendly Yamato, and myself, we're the only 3 ships here. The rest of our entire team is all the way over to the east. And what do they have to show for it? Well, nothing except a red alpha cap. And to make matters worse, some cruiser has just entered Bravo. It's an Ochakov. And obviously the Ochakov is a tricky little thing to deal with. We're going to sail over here toward Bravo, try to see if we can't stop the enemies from taking that cap. If they do, then they'll have a 2-cap advantage. That is something we want to prevent. And that Shima out there, he's sailing around that island. All he's got are 2 Yamatos and a Suzuya to worry about, so no radar threat. And the enemy destroyer is on the other side of the map. He should be fine. I don't think we really need to support him. And, I mean, frankly, if he goes down, you know, we've got the Alpha Cap in red hands, and now the Bravo Cap is about to be in red hands. So we might have a little bit of a bigger problem on our hands. Anyway, we're approaching the Bravo Cap. We see a smoke screen out there indicating that the enemy destroyer may be nearby. And then we see the Ochakov giving almost flat broadside. He's slightly angled. We fire the armor piercing, and what do you know? 6 ricochets and 2 over penetrations. Not a great start. 1 lone torpedo appears and then disappears before us. We shoot again at the Ochakov. This time we get a citadel. But, you know, Russian balance has to kick in, I suppose, because take a look at this next salvo. Don't think I'm aiming it particularly poorly, but what do you know? 5 over penetrations. Narrow citadel profiles. You gotta love those. Those are probably my favorite things in the game. I just love it when a cruiser can give you flat broadside and not be punished for it. Almost like he's playing 4D chess or something, and giving flat broadside is, in this dimension, this Soviet balance dimension, considered not a fatal error. So the Ochakov isn't dead. That is a bit of a problem. He's going to come around the island, though, for more. He figures his ship is super balanced, and he's going to balance the Prinz Eugen, likely with his high rate of high explosive fire, which I am sure can do a lot of damage to this ship. In fact, it has. I don't know if I've taken hits from things other than the Prinz Eugen, but as you can see, I've lost a significant amount of hit points, nearly 20,000 of them, and we are radared. I think that is the Eugen using, or not the Eugen, the Ochakov using his long-range 11 km radar to spot us. Of course, nobody's really interested in shooting at us. The enemy Yamato out there is occupied with somebody else, and the Reds still have not taken Charlie because of, I guess, that Shimakaze's presence over there. You see, he doesn't even need to be on the cap. He just needs to be in the area, sending torpedoes their way. Pausing briefly to take a look at the other Ochakov, who is in the Alpha Cap. He's being fired at by our teammates, but, you know, Soviet balance. And so, 2 citadels, he goes down for our first kill of the game. We're up to 70,000 damage. I've got a new working theory, and that is you only get 1 chance to shoot the citadel of the Ochakov before Stalin comes in and sends all your shells to the gulag. So, luckily for us, that citadel was enough to take out the first Ochakov. The second Ochakov that we kept getting overpens on, actually, I think I don't know what happened to him. I don't know where he went, but there's a bigger boat coming into view, the Yamato. You can see he's sailing toward the Bravo Cap. We've launched some torpedoes at him. Our Richelieu, who the Yamato is firing at, is pinging us simultaneously to both get back, and I think he's also requesting our support. I don't know what he thinks I'm doing aside from supporting him, but take a look at the shell tracers behind that island. Notice that they're orange because they are high explosive shells coming out of the guns of a Yamato right at a Richelieu. Again, I remind you that the Yamato has 18.1-inch guns, and therefore there is absolutely no reason to shoot high explosive at a Richelieu, because a Richelieu is coated in 32 millimeters of armor. The Yamato can overmatch it everywhere. Luckily for me, though, the Yamato continues to shoot HE as I gambled he would. And what a great gamble for me. We hit him with 1 torpedo there, but we've got the second launcher on the starboard side of our ship in reserve, and it takes that Yamato out for our second kill of the game. The Bravo Cap is now clear. There is our nemesis, the Ochakov, who earlier stole so many of our shells and caused them to be over penetrations. I'd like a little bit of revenge on this guy, and we'll see if RNG allows me to get it. It does. There he goes for our third kill of the game. And up until this point, this match was looking pretty not great for us. But there, 2 ships go down in quick succession, followed by that Massachusetts, who gets taken down with a close quarters expert medal by one of our teammates. How ironic. The Charlie Cap somehow got flipped to red in the interim. The Shimakaze, he's still alive, so it's nice to see Japanese destroyers not going out there trying to suicide torp battleships. Since that Shimakaze is still alive, he'll be able to retake that Charlie Cap for us, and there I have flipped the Bravo Cap myself, earning the solo cap ribbon, which is always worth a nice, healthy amount of XP. The enemy destroyer, don't know what it is. I think it might be a Kagero. Clearly he was in this location. There's a smoke screen there. As far as if he is still in this location, I have no idea. So we're going to send some blind torpedoes into the smoke screen. I don't have the hydroacoustic search equipped on the Eugen. Instead, I am using the reload booster because I figure the Hipper comes with hydroacoustic search by default. And if I want a German cruiser with good hydro, I'll play the Hipper. If I want something with 2 main battery reload boosters that can citadel the crap out of enemy cruisers and take big massive chunks out of battleships, then I'll play the Eugen. And the Eugen is certainly capable of taking big massive chunks out of battleships. We'll see what kind of big massive chunk we get here with this salvo. Perhaps not a lot. Well, almost 7,000. Pretty good, actually. We're going to sail into the Alpha Cap now, stop the enemy from accruing points by holding it, perhaps even flip it for ourselves. The only ships we have left are that Yamato on the red team and the enemy destroyer, who is still unaccounted for. Now, we don't want to try the same trick twice and go aggressively after the last enemy Yamato. I suspect he is probably not going to be firing high explosive. I don't know what gives me that impression, but look, you don't see a lot of Yamatos out there doing it, and I'm here to tell you that pretty much don't ever do it because there's no reason. Aha! It's a Yudachi, not a Kagero. I think I said Kagero earlier. The Yudachi is definitely very different. Our salvo there lands a little bit short of him. We don't actually end up hitting him, but he's getting beaten into a pulp by our Shimakaze. Looks like he is actually about to go down. But he torpedoes the Shimakaze and lives to fight another day, which is not good. Take a look at how close this game really, really is. 590 points to 504. Of course, we are going to be able to build on that lead because the enemy now holds no cap circles, so they have no points income. In order to get points, they're going to have to sink one of us. And I am a little bit concerned that Yamato out there, well, he is being shot at by a ship on our team. Another cruiser. The last surviving cruiser apart from this Prinz Eugen on your screen. Guess what that cruiser is? An Ochakov. Wow, what would you have guessed? You know, why would it be anything else? Of course it's an Ochakov, and he's shooting at the Yamato. He's probably been spotted by the Yamato this whole time. I advise him to get back. He says, no, that's how it's done. And that is, in fact, how it's done in the Ochakov. You just shoot HE at battleships, they shoot back at you, and they can't do anything. It's great. Briefly spotted there by the Yamato. I kind of panicked a little bit and shot at him, which is a risky move, even though I was unspotted when I shot. I don't want to be shot back, though. I am concerned that this Yamato might be able to dev strike me, and if he does, there's a slight chance that we might lose. Although, the time has dipped below the 1 minute mark, and we are comfortably ahead by more than 200 points. You see how quickly points accrue when you hold cap circles? That's why you want to hold them. Anyway, we can just farm a few more damaging salvos off this Yamato he just shot. There's less time in the game than it takes for him to reload his guns, so he should be perfectly safe. And in any case, he's aiming at the Ochakov, probably because he's pretty irritated with it, and I can't say I blame him. Nevertheless, the game is going to end with our victory. We got over 3,000 base XP in the Prinz Eugen, which is a pretty fun ship, and I think we all learned a valuable lesson today. Hopefully, anyway. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.